Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
A community in North Dakota is upset after they say video of a rowdy homecoming celebration at Linton High School negatively targeted an Oaks football player.
Video released to Valley News Live shows a figure made to represent an Oaks football player with a jersey and helmet being hung with rope around the neck from a basketball rim and then set on fire.
Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall traveled to Oaks and spoke with the superintendent, who says this is a lesson to be learned among high school students who may have taken things a bit too far.
Linton students caught on camera hanging and burning a scarecrow with the jersey number of a minority football player from Oaks.
Your first reaction is, why is this being done? What is the purpose of it? And it is alarming.
Now, Linton superintendent has apologized by sending Oaks a formal apology signed by Linton's football captains.
Instead of letting one photo or a short video run a narrative of the great people that I have here, we want to be proactive and respond to Oaks to ensure that they understood that no harm was meant at all.
And aside from asking to personally apologize to the Oaks team and the player believed to be targeted before tomorrow's game, that may be the only consequence the Linton team faces.
In fact, the number on the front is not a number used by an Oaks football player at all. The number on the back happens to be a number used by an Oaks football player.
Are you satisfied with that, or would you like to see more?
I accepted the apology that was given to us in the letter, and I guess it's going to have to be up to them on what they choose and how they handle that.
Still, Steinhoff says this is an opportunity for his district to learn something new.
We talked about our commitments, which are growth mindset, respect, and genuine relationships. And I believe that forgiveness has to fall in there.
And while forgiveness is important, not everyone may be there just yet.
Linton has had a long-standing history of having both teams on one side of the field, and we've asked to be placed on the other side just because of the heightened sensitivity, because of the heightened energy, and because of the heightened emotions, that we feel that it would be better for us and better for their teams to be on opposite sides of the field.
In Oaks, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Steinhoff says he doesn't have any safety or security concerns regarding tomorrow's game and says the student targeted by Linton is eager to play and put this behind him.
A search is underway for a man suspected in an armed robbery at the Super Pumper in Jamestown. Authorities say Travis Alcock of Valley City is considered armed and dangerous. A warrant has been issued for the 34-year-old, who was ID'd as a suspect through multiple investigative sources. Alcock is approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighs approximately 200 pounds. He may be driving a blue 1993 Toyota Camry with North Dakota license plate 518BVX. If you know of Alcock's whereabouts, notify law enforcement immediately.
The North Dakota Department of Health has just released a statement saying the first case of measles in our state in 7 years turned out to be a false positive. The health department says initial tests were positive, but the Centers for Disease Control also ran tests which were negative. Anyone who was being watched for potential exposure in Burleigh County can now return to normal activity.
Family members of a missing Grand Forks man continue to search for their loved one. 38-year-old Joseph Bruce Sr. has been missing since June 25th, and his family tells us that they think he was murdered. Bruce was in Devil's Lake and supposed to meet his family in St. Paul, but the father of 5 never showed up. His van was found in a secluded area between some sloughs on the Spirit Lake Reservation with everything left behind. Since then, there have been plenty of rumors and calls to Bruce's family and Devil's Lake police detailing graphic details on how Bruce was murdered.
Saying, they're never going to find him. They'll never find his body. They're looking over here for nothing. If you heard all the stories that me and my daughter heard, it's scary. It's like, how could they do that to somebody?
Devil's Lake police say that it's still an active investigation, adding that there are no suspects at this time. If you have any information, contact Devil's Lake Police at 701-662-0700.
We need to get through a bit more rain before we see the warmer temps and the sunshine. Hutch, what are the overnight hours looking like?
Well, we're starting out with some ominous-looking clouds, a lot of lightning taking place up in the north. This is in the Northwood area in southern Grand Forks County. A shelf cloud working its way through. Some of these storms had some hail with them earlier, but since their severity levels have diminished significantly. Good old-fashioned rain this hour in northwest portions of Minnesota, Bemidji through just north of Ada. We have a few showers in the central Dakotas as well. These are moving off to the east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Grand Forks, another round is possible for your area tonight. And out to the west, Stutsman County could see some showers in the northwestern quadrant here in the next half hour or so. Hit and miss showers and a few rumbles of thunder are going to be likely during the overnight. But all these clouds are going to keep temperatures from getting down to those frosty lows that we saw across the area this morning. I'll have details on that warm up here in just a minute and let you know what you can expect for the weekend ahead here in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Hutch.
Voters in North Dakota will be deciding in November whether recreational marijuana will be legalized.
If that happens, what would it mean for businesses with a drug-free policy? Valley News Team's Joseph Ojo talked with those leading the charge to get marijuana passed in the state.
I think what's going to happen is businesses are going to make the best decisions based on what the owner thinks is appropriate.
That's Dave Owen with the North Dakota Legalization Initiative. And he tells us it depends on the business.
If you're a construction business where you're operating heavy machinery, I can see a world where the drug tests continue. If you're a cashier at the Wendy's, maybe they decide not to.
The passing of marijuana doesn't stop a business owner from doing a random drug test, and the law allows you as an individual to smoke freely.
If you don't like that rule from your boss, you don't have to work for him, and if he doesn't like that you use marijuana, he doesn't have to hire you.
So what about the concerns that the legalization will give police more work to do?
The amount that we are spending to incarcerate a person for a year is roughly $40,000. By way of comparison, depending on how you want to do the math, we could send between 4 and 5 kids to UND with a full academic scholarship.
Owen says that police will be able to shift their focus and address other issues.
The meth problem, by going after the meth dealers, they can deal with all the assaults that go unsolved.
Brian Johnson, who is running for Burleigh County State's attorney, says that the impact the legalization will have is yet to be seen. He also says that the legalization won't get rid of all crimes.
You're making sure that people are selling it legally and then not to, to minors and things like that.
In Fargo, Joseph Ojo, Valley News Live.
If it's legalized, it would be up to the city's smoking ordinances and smoking bans to ensure that marijuana will not be used in certain areas.
North Dakota's Department of Human Services will impose 2 additional federal requirements for criminal background checks of child care providers beginning next month. The first requires all child care staff to complete a fingerprint-based background check. The second says new staff members cannot begin work until the Department of Human Services reviews their criminal history records. State leaders say the additional checks are to ensure the protection and safety of children in licensed and regulated child care.
In less than 24 hours, President Donald Trump will return to Fargo to campaign for Kevin Cramer. He'll speak at a private event at the Delta by Marriott tomorrow. Tickets to the event are $1,000 per couple. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says due to location and size of the event, traffic will be much less effective this time around.
On Shields Arena, we have to get off interstate and kind of move through the city. Delta is a little bit easier to get to, although if you're at West Acres, I would say you might be inconvenienced during that time frame.
The president is set to touch down around 11:30 in the morning and leave around 2 in the afternoon. Hector Airport Authority also says people should expect very, very little impact.
There's also word that the president will be back in North Dakota for a 3rd time before November's primary election. The Flag's Scott Hennon is reporting that the president will return for a large public rally in the 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the election. Now, the location has not been determined, but it will be held at a large public venue. Trump held a public rally at Shields Arena in Fargo in June.
And just like that, the kids are back in school. New technology was on many shopping lists, but experts at Consumer Reports say there's another important item to add to your to-do list.
Cleaning your laptop to tackle the dirt you can see, but also the germs you cannot. Valley News Team's Lisa Badeau explains.
Consumer Reports tester Rich Fisco knows laptops.
Laptops get dirty, but they're also full of germs. They need to be cleaned.
So when his daughter brings a filthy laptop home from college,
one of the first things I do is I grab her laptop and tell her I'm going to clean it. But the good news is I know just how to clean them. Come with me. You probably should start with the keyboard. You can see black keys, they're not going to show a lot of dirt. But trust me, they're filthy. You clean your keyboard less than you clean your bathroom in most cases.
And that, with the brush attachment, works well on dust. But to tackle germs, you need to get a little more serious. Dip a nice soft cloth in water, mixed with a splash of alcohol. Be sure to wring the cloth out really well so none drips into the keyboard. Next, clean your screen with the type of cloth you use to clean your eyeglasses. A small squirt of dish detergent diluted with water will help you tackle more stubborn smudges. Again, just dampen the cloth.
And with a little bit of time, a little bit of elbow grease, you can get most of your screen really, really clean, germ-free, dirt-free, smudge-free.
Left with gummy residue from last year's stickers? That same diluted alcohol mixture works wonders on the case.
As someone who tests computers for Consumer Reports, dirty laptop, it's going to run the same as a clean laptop. As a dad, clean your stuff.
Lisa Bedell, Valley News Live.
When using alcohol around a laptop, Consumer Reports stresses using it sparingly, mixed in water, as besides killing the germs on the surface, if you use too concentrated a mixture, it not only kills the germs, but it may take the letters off your keys along with it.
And that's not good.
No.
A man who was the #1 box office attraction for a 5-year stretch, starting in the late 70s, has died. A look back at the life of Burt Reynolds a little later on Valley News Live at 10.
Well, we had chilly morning temperatures today, near freezing. In Bemidji, it was freezing. That's led to some fall-like colors across the valley. Thanks, Jay, for uploading your photo. Showers of rain as we head to bed tonight. I'll tell you where they're going and have your Friday outlook next.